Appreciate it.
Please welcome Team Canada テレ東カナダの4校 also sports game has been licensed and assigned by the International Ice Hockey Federation. Tämän ottelun tuomarit on nimennyt kansainvälinen jääkiekkoliitto. The referees of the game, päätuomarit Pierre Deon Roitian Hansen. The linespersons, linjatuomari Daniel.
It's day 3 of the 2022 World Hockey Championship. Italy taking on Canada. Italians open with a 5-2 loss to Switzerland. Canada a 5-3 win over Germany. And the referees today are Pierre Dehan from France, Roy Hansen from Norway, the linesman Daniel Beresford from Great Britain, and Davis Sundi from Latvia. There is Greg Ireland, the 56-year-old head coach of the Italian national team, a native of Orangetown, Ontario. The head coach of the American League and the East Coast League for a long time. And Claude Julien, of course, a veteran, coached Canada at the Olympics in 2022, was also the World Junior head coach in 2000. 18 years behind a National Hockey League bench, coach of the year in 2009 and a Stanley Cup winner in 2011. So the Italians have their hands full. Last year there was no relegation. They would have been relegated had that been in place. They survived in 2019 thanks to a last day win over Austria that kept them alive. And Canada, the defending gold medalists, have won 3 of the last 6 World Championships. And there is 25-year-old Justin Fazio from Sarnia, Ontario, getting the start against Canada. He started against them last year, and it didn't go great. He allowed 4 goals and 11 shots, was pulled 11 minutes in. In the meantime, Chris Drieger gets the start for Canada. His first ever start for a Canadian national team, played for Seattle in the NHL this year, the expansion Kraken. So Fazio was so excited last year to get the start against Canada. Played Sarnia for 4 years, played at Queen's University. We'll see what goes here at a noon start, local time.
Yeah, at times we're talking about a quick turnaround. So yeah, hopefully for Fazio, he was so disappointed last year that didn't go well. Hopefully he has a better showing in this one.
Pierre-Luc Dubois slides that towards the goal. Dylan Cousins looking for it, and stepping up is Travis Sanheim of the Philadelphia Flyers. Held by Cousins. Back for Sanheim. Across it goes to Dubois. And Damon Severson drops that back. Canada's won 9 straight against Italy. There was a tie back in 1995. From the point, Thomas Chabot with a shot that deflects up and out of play.
You mentioned the noon start because for Canadians, it's either 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 3, like depending on where in Canada they are coming from. And while they've been here for about a week, so the body is adjusting, I still think the option of a nap at some point during the day, if you're not quite fully up to speed on your sleep reps, would be convenient. So we'll see how awake and ready Canada is to start this game.
What do you have for a pregame meal for a noon start?
I hated it. Tried to choke down some pasta and chicken.
At what time?
At 7 in the morning. It's awful. Then when you go back to bed from 8 to 9 and then get back up and go to the game, it's a tricky one. There's always some NHL teams that play a ton at noon starts and some that don't. And when you play in Canada, they rarely do that. And
here's Matt Barzal.
Recent addition. Showed up a couple days later, but he'll have to get up to speed. But at his best, Canada will be happy to have him. Think about down the middle, Dubois, Lowry, Barzal. That is a pretty potent group of centermen.
He'll turn 30 during this tournament.
Matt Barzal?
Yeah.
30? I don't think so.
You're right. He's not that old. Sorry, I read the wrong line there.
I'm like,
right.
wait a second.
He was drafted in 2015.
Wasn't
so
he
that
rookie
old.
of the year like 3 years ago?
It's noon for all of us.
It's 5 a.m.
Here's McNally with it. Head back down the Canadian zone. Back goes Nick Holden. It's his birthday today. He's 35.
That I'll take.
Yeah. And up for Barzal, winding in with Kent Johnson. And Drake Batherson. Batherson got spun around in front. Johnson scored in Canada's opener and joins a select group. Saku Koivu, Evgeny Malkin, and Ili Tolvanen as the only players to score in the World Junior, the World Championship, and the Olympics in the same year.
Just even playing in those 3 tournaments, forget about scoring, is incredible enough.
So now Cassetti rather steers that towards the goal. Poke free. And move back into the corner for Ivan DeLuca. Italy spent a long time in Division 1A, Division 1B of the World Championship, and a number of these players have been through those wars. Some of them have played in 8 or 9 of those tournaments between the under 20 and the World Championship level to get them back here. We've talked about it before. Italy is the host team, the host nation for the 2026 Winter Olympics. The goal here is to get them competitive in time for those games. Now Comtois drops it off, and that bumped away from Noah Gregor. Now a centering pass. That's knocked away as Dawson Mercer got that away, and now backed up by Sanheim for Severson. Comtois up ahead for Severson. Steps around Frank. Severson drops it back for the trailer. Sanheim has a look and shoots. And Fazio knocks that away. Fazio plays for Bolzano in what's known as the Ice Hockey League. That's a league of teams in Italy, Austria, Hungary. And a number of the others play in the Alps Hockey League, Austria, Slovenia, Italy.
Either one sounds nice.
The food alone. Italians went 0-7 last year, got outscored 41-11. The 11 was actually a positive development for them. They've been held to 5 or 6 goals in their previous appearances at the World Championship.
They got a couple in their first game against Switzerland. And they're looking to Kazakhstan and France as their big games.
Right. Here's Adam Lowry with it. Lowry spins it back in front. That pass misfired, trying to find Cole Sillinger. It bounces back down the ice. We mentioned the Italians survived in 2019. They were relegated their previous 5 appearances prior to that.
One of those elevator countries where they get promoted because they win the 1A, and then they get demoted after finishing at the bottom of Division 1. And the thing Canada knows is that no matter who they are playing against, you're going to get some version of their best game. Italy will be very engaged and tense at the prospect of playing against Coach Julien's team. There's Andre Tourigny, one of his assistants, along with DJ Smith, the other one.
Lots of head coaching experience behind that Canadian bench.
Just let's Claude delegate more. Keep the workload light for the head coach.
Holden plays it down to Sillinger. Cole Sillinger. Back down for Josh Anderson of the Montreal Canadiens. And Anderson, Burlington, Ontario native, plays it back down. Here's Lowry on it. Back for Holden. And a battle for the puck along the boards. 5 gone here in the opening period. At this point last year, this game was out of hand already.
Yeah, it looks like Canada not coming with the same urgency that they started against Germany with.
Johnson winds through center ice. Kent Johnson drops it on for Barzal, who will be 25 during this tournament, by the way. In comes Shabbat with a shot. It goes off his stick, up and out of play.
Sounds about right.
5 Canadians are celebrating birthdays during the tournament.
There's a lot of birthday cake floating around the hotel for everybody.
We talked about it the other day. It was a kind of a bonding thing for the Canadians last year, right?
Yeah, any reason to get together and socialize, get to know each other. I like what Claude Julien's done here. He's put Batherson with Johnson and Barzal in a real offensively minded line. Lots of speed on that. Lots of speed and skill. Play together.
Now a centering pass for Johnson got knocked away. Kent Johnson for Shabbat. Kent Johnson's got quite a team sweater collection from this year.
The basement's full already in 1 year.
Michigan, Columbus, the Olympic team, the World Junior team, and the World Championship team. Lots of team pictures. Needs a whole wall for them.
How different are the Canadian jerseys?
Johnson plays it back across. That pass bounced away from Dyson Mayo. The defenseman had jumped up. Now Shabbat slides it back across to Barzal. Matt Barzal pivots in the corner. Try to throw that back in front. It goes off a skate back down the ice.
There's the edge work of Barzal. That stop and start, he can just do it faster than you. He creates a lot of space doing so.
Shabbat snaps that pass ahead. The pass misfired from Mercer. Now Dawson Mercer back on it. Noah Gregor forced it free to Mercer. And Gregor tries to center it, knocked down by Alex Patan. Patan, the native of Delta, BC. One of 4 Canadian-born players in this roster. Now a chance for Mercer. A great stop by Fazio. Rebound. Fazio's got that too. So 2 good stops in the early going.
I feel great about that. Just get on the board with a good save. Fazio taken away from Dawson Mercer.
In his 3rd year in Italy, playing for Bolzano. And now that puck bounced away. Patan reaching for it. Diving back was Mercer to take that away. Rink wide pass by Severson to Comtois, and Max Comtois waits for the line to change, and now Shabbat's got it back. Thomas Shabbat. Up ahead for Cousins, that bounced away. Now a bouncing puck for Nicholas Waugh, that's taken away. In comes Cousins with it. Back at the point, Whitecloud a shot, that goes high. Bounces off the glass and out of play. 12:26 to go here in the first period, still no score. A note there that Canada has the youngest team in the tournament.
That's a good thing, though. I think, a whole bunch of young guys, some opportunities, excited to continue their seasons. And if you've been on a team that hasn't been in the playoffs or in the playoff chase, playing for games that matter is something that's good for you as a player.
We've seen it any number of times, guys who've really either kick-started or sort of regenerated their career at this tournament. Andrew Mangiapane came in hot last year from the end of his season in Calgary, but has continued that.
Rolled right all the way through the regular season and a 30-goal year for him this year.
Right. There's Dubois, centers it, brought in by Cousins, a rolling puck, and Fazio's got that, but it skipped away from him. Marco Inza plays it back in. His dad, former head coach of the Italian national team. Jost with it. Plays it back in. Also underway at this hour, Norway and Great Britain in Tampere. Shots are 3-0 Canada here in the early going. Lowry goes in hard on Daniel Glira, who scored against Switzerland in that 5-2 loss. Now the puck goes back, teed up by Graves, the long shot. Fazio, a glove save on that.
Snap that one out of the air quickly.
Graves can shoot it.
He can bring it. Absolutely one of the heavier shots in the NHL. And pass for Sillinger sails over his stick right to Graves. Tees it up and he gets a lot on that one. Fazio calmly makes it look routine. Here's a chance previously from Dawson Mercer. He's got him down. Doesn't elevate. Fazio seals the bottom of the net and takes the pass away.
Graves plays it back, a hole and a hard shot that bounces wide.
Yeah, Adam Lowry's going to pick up the physical play here, trying to get his team engaged.
Holden to Sillinger, that shot blocked. Graves gets the shot away, it's blocked as well. And Dante Hannon from Delta, BC moves in. And it pass deflects off a stick, up and out.
Italy knows it's going to be a tough game for them, and then they come up with the appropriate mindset. They're trying to keep it close. They did a pretty good job against Switzerland, keeping it close. Greg Island's group behind Andreas Bernard's solid performance in net. 5-2 is respectable.
He's also the head coach for Bolzano, which is kind of the epicenter of Italian hockey.
Some familiarity with a lot of his players already.
Got head coaching experience as well in Switzerland and Germany. With the head coach in Owen Sound in the Ontario League for 4 years, so he's been behind a few benches. Hannon, who had a nice visit with Matt Barzal, their contemporaries from
Yeah, it was a little
BC.
Vancouver party there at the red line and warm-up with Patan there and Hannon and Barzal. Talking about their summer skate plans.
And then DePerna goes back for the Italian, sends it back down. As up to play it is Drieger, a Winnipeg native. And now poked ahead by Patan. Alex Patan shoots. That's knocked away by Drieger. Morgan Geekie couldn't get to it. And now Sanheim rides off Santa.
One of the challenges for Canada with the arrival of Barzal now, 13 forwards. So one too many, or for these guys, probably 4 too many.
Right.
Trying to find the right amount of ice time for everyone might be a challenge.
Well, so jumps on that. 9:47 to go here in the first period. Back here at the Ice Hall in Helsinki, day 3 of the World Hockey Championship later on today. France will play Kazakhstan here. The nightcap has Denmark against Switzerland. Canada back in action against Slovakia tomorrow.
That'll be a good test. But you can't look to Slovakia tomorrow until you get through Italy today, and it has been a sleepy start for Canada.
There have been over the years a number of upsets.
Here we go. Yes, I was on a team that lost to Norway one year.
Is that right?
The only team in the history of this tournament for Canada has lost to Norway.
You don't
It can happen.
You don't say.
5-3. Freddie Brathwaite.
Oh, wait. You just threw Freddie under the bus. Oh.
Love you, Freddie. Love you.
Wow.
You work with Chris Drieger a little bit here. Golden, he's a goalie coach with Vegas.
And the Nudo with a shot that goes just wide. Now, Petronero with a shot that also missed the net. And now the captain, Daniel Frank, takes that shot. It deflects away. And the bouncing puck back to the Italian zone where DePerna is back to pick it up.
We talked about connectivity between the forwards and defense in Canada against Germany and it being a strength of that game. It's not there in this one. They're not skating well enough to keep everyone close together.
Bouncing puck put wide there by Diego Costner. At this point in last year's meeting, it was 4-0 Canada, and Fazio was out of the Italian net. Lead pass to Nicholas Waugh, and Cousins pokes at that. Patan. Need away from Cousins, who got to stick on it for a moment. And now DePerna got tied up in front of the Canadian bench by Dubois. And on the rush, Costner lost his glove. Now a batted puck. Drieger down. They're going to rule that was knocked out with a high stick by Patan. So play called.
I guess it was over his shoulders. Interesting rule there because to score a goal, the high stick standard is the crossbar. To play the puck, it is your shoulders. Now most players' shoulders are above the crossbars. This one gets deflected a couple times. Patan takes a whack at it. Yeah, that's well over his shoulder because if that had been below his shoulders and above the crossbar, it would have been fine to play the rebound into the empty net.
Right. Among the little rules quirks.
Yeah. Most guys understand that one, though.
Yeah.
There's a few that some players don't quite follow along with, but that one is pretty well understood. That's why sometimes I don't understand when people swing at pucks that are over their shoulders.
Josh Anderson slides that in. There's lots of quirky rules in sports. In golf, you can remove a dead tree branch from a bunker, but not a live snake.
Oh, I'd move the snake.
You're taking the penalty?
Whatever the penalty is, I would be, yes. Rules official would get called in.
Drieger gloves that, hangs on to the shot from Brandon McNally into Saugus, Massachusetts. 4 years at Dartmouth and 4 years in the American League. Has made his way over to Italy, made his way over to Europe, rather, playing for Cardiff. Played Italy 3 previous years.
Cardiff, my favorite European team, as we know.
Yes, your old roommate
runs that organization, but not quite as many North Americans on the Italian team this year. Fazio's in net, and Patan, Hanun, Nally, I think that's it, the 4.
Now a centering pass, bounce back in front, and knocked away. McNally drops that back, in score! Walking right in is Phil Petronero, and the Italians have grabbed an early lead on Canada.
Well. Petronero joins the rush. A really nice pass by McNally as Canada gets caught with 4 in deep. McNally drives it in, hits the trailer, and he's able to drag that through and go glove side on Drieger. Get the head up, take a peek, get it past the shot blocker for the finish, and Italy up 1.
Petronero, native of Prescott, Arizona, played a couple of years in the Quebec Major Junior League for a couple of teams. Playing in France this year, that's his first goal for the Italian national team at the senior level.
I did see Luca Frigo grab the puck for him.
Yeah. Now holding a shot, and Fazio's got that. So a much different start for the Italians as opposed to their game against Canada last year.
And in a game that they can get pushed out of because it gets lopsided, they are more engaged in now for the Italians. So it's going to get harder and harder for Canada to find their offense. Petronero, it's a good shot. You're going laterally one way, puck going the other.
Racing back is Mayo with it. That's picked off by Magnabosco. Icing waved off. As Barzell's on the forecheck, Contois comes in as well. Barzell centers it. Grigor a chance, and Fazio the glove save. Hangs on to that.
Calmly, cleanly picks it out. At some point, Fazio knows that it's going to get more difficult, but here he is 14 minutes into the game and just 6 shots for Canada. 1 great save against Dawson Mercer.
Yeah.
Other than that, hasn't been tested.
Sana tied up by Gregor at center ice. White Cloud kicks it ahead. But hanging up with the linesman there. Now picked up by Gregor for Shabbat. And captain finds Quanton, sends it down. The lead pass chipped ahead by Sana. And back goes Shabbat for it. Shabbat slides that pass in, trying to find Gregor. That's picked off by Daniel Glitta. Now brought out by DePerna for Costner. White Cloud goes in. He gets hammered into the corner boards. Mercer up ahead for Cousins. Try to drop that back. Cousins got spilled. He tripped on the linesman, I think. And now Cousins has it back. Lead pass to Waugh, in with Dubois. Nicholas Waugh drops it back. And a hard shot by Graves. Whoops, that hit Diego Costner up high.
Dubois going crashing into Fazio as well.
A chance for the Italians. That's knocked wide by DeLuca. Waugh up ahead for Cousins. That pass broken up by Hannon.
Just not connecting through the neutral zone. Not a lot of speed and control for Canada to attack the offensive blue line with. The Italians are doing a good job.
Now the pass is stolen away. A centering pass with a chance. Oh, what a shot there. And a great look for Dante Hannon. 1-0 Italy, almost 2.
That sounds good. Keep up the good work with all the fans. Meillä on jatkaa tässä muuten loistava porukka EKS:n tulevia huippukiekkoilijoita. Pistäkää nimet mieleen, ne nimittäin pelaa tulevaisuuden MM-kisoissa ne ehkä ihan varmasti.
So, early going here, early days of the tournament. Remember, Canada began the tournament last year with 3 straight losses, beaten by Latvia, the United States, and Germany before rallying to make the medal round and win the gold medal.
This tournament rarely goes in a straight line for any team, but this is not something that Canada foresaw. I'm sure they're trying to get themselves plugged in on the bench.
Severson banks that in and finds Lowry with it. Lowry to an open wing as Josh Anderson goes racing to the loose puck. Drops it back for Sanheim. Rossi goes to Severson to Sanheim. Sanheim tees it up and shoots, scores! Travis Sanheim with a long shot, and Canada ties the game at 1.
Travis Sanheim from a stationary position. It's hard to shoot standing still like that. And he gets plenty on it, but that's a puck that Fazio has to get a glove on. Anderson wins a race. Sanheim and Severson using the full width of the rink, but there's nobody in front. There's no screen. I don't think Hanun touches this at all. And it just beats Fazio clean. And that is a big break for Canada, getting them on the board, even things up. Maybe Hanun gets a little piece.
Yeah.
But from that far out, you expect the goaltender to be able to react to any change of direction.
Sanheim's played this building before, played the 2016 World Junior Championship here. He was a bright light in a bad year for Philadelphia.
Very little went right in Philly, but solid season for him.
In comes Patan with it now. And that shot by Santa goes high, over the glass and out.
So if you're Canada, it's 1-1. You're not feeling good about how you've played so far.
That did deflect.
Yeah, he did get a little piece of Hanun's stick. Not much.
These are funny games, though, because you're supposed to win them.
Yeah,
so if you do, you were supposed to, and if you don't, then what? Patan shoots! That got stuck on the side of the goal.
Mesh.
It's on the outside of the net, not the inside.
From where our vantage point right now, we can see it cleanly underneath the white wrapper, which was there to prevent this from happening, from pucks going in the side of the net. Yeah. As we've seen occasionally happen. Patan walks off the circle, and that's outside the post. Man, bit of a scare there.
Remember when Shea Weber went through the net at the Olympics?
Yeah. And John Leclerc once put one against Dominic Hasek through the outside of the net in Buffalo.
It went in the side of the net, and that counted.
And they kept that one, The referee's just making sure that that one did not go in. This will take
a nanosecond.
24 seconds, one look. Give him the overhead look right away. That was the one that shows it very clearly going outside the post. I don't mind the officials taking a look at this one. It's unusual. It ends up in that spot, and you're not quite sure how it got there.
We did a World Junior pre-tournament game in Sweden in 2014. I think we were in Ängelholm, and 4 pucks went through the net.
Goals and then out through the net?
Yeah, like they went in and through the net.
Wow. See, I would think in this case, when it's something obvious like this, the video room should just say, trust us, it didn't go in. You know, like the refs don't have to see it with their own eyes. And just take the word of it. It's not like it's a goal interference, something where they have to make a decision.
Right.
Did it hit the glass? Was it hit with a high stick? Was it your own teammate who cut you? Whatever it might be. And hear the conversation trigger with the official. What happened there?
One of these summers, I'm going to sit down and invent a net where the puck doesn't bounce right back out after the goal goes in. Like off the back bar and all that.
Well, yeah, you think you have a little more padding off the back bar, but for the players, you kind of like the tight mesh.
No, the mesh is great. Like when it snaps it, but when it hits that back bar and you can't tell if it's the crossbar or the back bar, there's got to be a design that'll make that work. Johnson works in. Johnson comes jumping in. That's knocked away by Patan. Batherson bangs that back to Whitecloud with a shot. Fazio reaches across and makes the glove save.
Crossbody glove save there. Reached to his blocker side to snag that one, which most goalies don't do. They will block it away if it's on the blocker side. It's a good look at Justin Fazio, as you mentioned. Simon Sarny in the OHL.
We talked to him last year before. He was so excited to play.
Yeah, he knew family and friends would be tuning in back home, and he wanted to put on a good show. So didn't work last year, but here, 3 minutes away from being tied after one, that would be a victory for Italy for sure.
Now played rink wide by Gregor to Graves. He shoots, it bounces off a leg, and picked up by Gregorio Jos. Back at the point is Holden. Down to Contois, hard pass for Graves. Graves back to Holden. To Contois. To Holden. Back to Graves. Gregor was tied up in front. Now Mercer comes in to help out.
Marco Insam is a physical player for Italy, number 8. He doesn't mind the bumping at all.
Graves and Holden playing pitch and catch. Now Graves backhands it back down to the Italian zone. 2:20 to go here in the opening period. Waugh drops that back, but it's picked off by Marco Magnabosco. He plays for Asiago in the Alps Hockey League. He's been with that organization since the age of 14, 12 years.
A lot of cheese.
Well, it's a more common thing in Europe, right? You sign with
like the junior program.
Yeah, you join the organization as a minor player. And you work your way up. It's
the academy.
Yeah, they don't have drafts here. They don't draft players.
It's like I said, have to scout teenagers and get them in the academy and get them in the system.
Yeah. Sanheim, rink wide to Severson. A hard bump there from DeLuca. Bank back at the point. Sanheim shot was deflected wide. Waugh reaching for it. Back in the corner for Dubois. Dubois to Cousins. Back for Sanheim. Rossi goes to Severson, drops it off for Dubois, and for Sanheim has a look and shoots and fired that wide.
One of the challenges for Canada in the offensive zone here is Italy will give you the blue line. They'll let the points pass it back and forth. They'll collapse down low. And it's easy to just kind of take that, throw it back to the point, stand still in front of that, and try to get tips and rebounds. Got to try to keep as much motion in the offensive zone as possible. Don't just settle for point shots.
Back at the point is Chabot, shoots, and that was tipped in front. Sillinger, I think, got a stick on that, and Fazio made the save.
That was going about 2 feet wide, and Sillinger thought he had it. He's surprised that Fazio got across to save this. Look where he tipped his puck. It's miles wide. That is a tremendous tip. Out of the air. It's going to go in. Oh, just catches the underarm of Fazio.
What a hand-eye sometimes to do that.
Players without, when they're not getting checked, they would expect to hit 8 out of 10.
Right. Well, to deflect it is one thing. To deflect it and direct it.
Something we practice all the time. End of practice, before practice, the defense, when they're shooting, guys will stand in there. And let's play a guy named Landon Wilson. Rick Wilson, longtime coach. He wouldn't miss. He'd go in there and he'd be there for 40, 50 in a row. He just would not miss. They're like, okay, Willie, enough. Somebody else wants to play. Because you'd go in until you miss.
Right.
And I'd do 3 and I'd be out of there, and he'd be there for 25. He was unbelievable.
Johnson snaps that pass across, and it's knocked down by Hannon. Lead pass to Johnson. Rink wide, he goes for Batherson. And Drake Batherson plays it back across to Johnson. Final seconds now of the period. Little drop pass for Barzell. Feeds it back to Graves. Winds and shoots. That got through Frigo and got down to the net. But Italy and Canada will go to the dressing room tied at 1 after the opening period.
Great result for Italy. Played hard, defended hard. Fazio was solid for Canada. That was not played at max intensity, and I think that will be the conversation. Thomas Chabot, the captain, you have to respect every opponent, no matter who they are, or the games are going to be tight.
Day 3 of the World Hockey Championship continues. Our first intermission is coming up.
Laukaukset maalia kohti ensimmäisessä erässä. Kanada 11, Italia 4. In Tampere, the score between Team Norway and Team Great Britain is 1-0 after first period. Tilanne Tampereella ottelussa Norja Iso-Britannia. Ensimmäisen erän jälkeen tilanteessa 1-0.
For me? let's go. Team on three, okay? Team on three. 1, 2, 3, team. Okay? Okay, guys. Wide stick first, okay? Good job, perfect. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Heads up, heads up, heads up. Okay, guys, let's go. You okay? Let's go. Heads up! Come on, guys, let's go! Yeah, it's outside. Okay, okay. Come on, guys, let's go.
Forza ragazzi, ancora.
Right, boys. Here we go, Manny.
Pocket freeze. Pockets.
That's a shot.
Keep going.
Who's that? Motherfucking ice. Where are we going? Cut back. Cut back gets everyone. 140?
Going to 20. Same way, Fazzy.
Getting set for the start of the second period here in Helsinki. Day one, or game one of 3 on the day here and 3 in Tampere. Canada looking for a much better second period than the first.
Okay, sticks down, please.
I appreciate the please and thank you at the face-offs.
Yeah.
That's a nice touch.
That was very polite, wasn't it?
Always get that in the NHL.
Severson up for Cousins and brought back by Ranzi. Ranzi now plays it back on the Canadian zone, but it's quickly moved ahead to Waugh. Nicholas Waugh drops it back for Dubois, steaming in. Nicholas Waugh back with it. This line's a load for Canada. Cousins shoots, and that's blocked by Pietronero, the Italian goal scorer. But you've got Dubois coming in at 6'2", 205. Nicholas Waugh 6'4", 205, and
he plays bigger than I associate with his game.
And Cousins 6'3", the lightest guy in the line at 190.
Hit the gym, kid. Put some pounds on.
Here's Waugh back with it. Nicholas Waugh plays that back to Whitecloud. Lowry, who's no shrinking violet himself. Lowry works it back. Whitecloud shoots. That's blocked in front by Pietronero. And Frank has it back for Italy.
Back check by Anderson.
Anderson steals that away. Steams back in. Josh Anderson winding through the offensive zone. Walks right in, shoots. And Fazio gets a piece of that.
It's better, though. Better pace in the bodies. The puck flying around for Canada.
Shabbat lines that back to Lowry. Across he goes. Whitecloud, a hard shot. Fazio save, rebound. Sillinger on it, and they're going to call a slash here against Canada. And the
Slashing the
Italians are gonna-
stick out of the
Italians
hand.
get a power play here.
Yeah. Spornberger in front of the net, and it was Sillinger who was looking for the rebound, chopped down on the hands of Spornberger. You see them battling here, loose puck. And yeah, it comes down from over top and knocks the stick out of his hands. You guys don't like when this happens, but that's the call, and Dylan Cousins has a chance. Good block. Tornado right in front of Fazio. Take that one away.
Italy scored a power play goal against Switzerland in the 5-2 loss. Petronero. It was Hannon who had the power play goal. He's out there now as that puck goes over the glass and out.
Canada want to make sure to be clean here. Keep the intensity up even while shorthanded. Not looking to score, but try to build some momentum. Where you feel like you're just rolling over and the Italians are they're on their heels.
Ranzi plays it back in the corner. Hannon. Ranzi, that pass broken up by Severson, sends it back down to the Italian zone. So suddenly now, Italy wasn't bad against Switzerland yesterday. They were okay,
No.
right? In the game, 2-2 at one point.
Goaltender played strong, but they defended hard.
Right. So could Italy do it again like they did in 2019 and win a game? Could you beat France? Win a game you had to win.
Yeah. France, Kazakhstan, who looked very poor yesterday.
Yeah. Just win the game you have to win to avoid relegation. In comes Patan with it. Drops that back and the pass misfired from Ranzi. Here's Costner with it. Diego Costner. Rink wide to Patan, who fires it down. Patan went to Michigan Tech University, was a captain there in his final season. And now they'll call a hand pass against the Italians in the offensive zone.
Not much going on for the Italians, but part of the challenge for teams like Italy is maintaining a positive frame of mind throughout this tournament. If the losses pile up and they become lopsided, then you get down to that game against France and you've kind of been down for 2 weeks.
Right.
But you get a pretty good game against Switzerland, decent result even though you lost. Doing the same here against Canada. By the time they play France, their 4th game, they should be confident.
That'll be on Wednesday. Insa moves in. .15 seconds to go on the power play. Sanheim pounds it off the boards and down the ice.
Nothing doing here for Italy on the power play. Good kill by Canada. A lot of board battles won by the defensemen with strong clears. Justin Fazio let me know that the power play's over.
Holden for Sillinger. Up ahead for Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois comes steaming in. A centering pass bounced away from Anderson. And a Holden shoots that deflected just wide. Another big line here. You got Dubois and Anderson out together. If a football game broke out, they'd be fine.
Josh Hannon just threw Traverse into the boards. A little Traverse of 5'7", 165.
Well, and that's one of the reasons, when you talk about international officiating, the reason it's done so tight, don't forget, this is the top level. There's 5 levels below this. You get a lot of size mismatches. They've got to protect players. You get a game like this, you got a 6'3", 220-pound NHL player bearing on a guy who weighs 160.
I guess.
That shot
This is
pounded
the
there,
World
but
Championship. If you're at risk of getting hurt because you're so tiny and feeble, then you probably shouldn't be playing at this level.
feeble. I'd say feeble.
Well, I mean, you're going to be protected extra because you might get hurt. You're so overmatched.
In comes Barzal, now winds in, trying to play that back across, and stepping into that was Graves. That rattled wide. Graves back on it to Barzal. Matt Barzal slides that pass down, gloved down by Johnson. And Johnson tiptoes around Glira.
This extra width made Mac Barzal a nightmare to cover.
So we talked about it the other day. This is a hybrid rink here. It's 200 feet long, like every rink, but it's about 94 feet wide instead of 85. As in comes Gregor at the goalpost, rather. So the NHL rink is 85 feet wide. The standard international rink was 200. This is the hybrid rink. A little more room, not too much. Shabbat in for Gregor, shoots, Fazio save, and Contoine behind had a chance.
Couple good looks for Gregor, my goodness. Fazio very aggressive on the second one.
6 gone here in the second period. Remains a 1-1 tie. Cassetti a long shot. That deflected in front. Rebound. And a great stop there. Made by Drieger on Diego Costner. 1-1 the score here in period number 2. Back here in Helsinki, 1-1 the score here in the second period. Sometimes these games are hard to pry open.
Yeah, but Canada's doing a better job of skating in this second period compared to the first. They've upped the tempo a little bit. If they play like this the rest of the way, they'll find a solution.
Offside call to the Italian line. Tomorrow, we mentioned Canada will play Slovakia, so there's 2 really top draft eligible prospects, Juraj Slafkovsky and Simon Nemec for Slovakia. And the scouts and GMs will be here watching those 2 play against NHL players.
Yeah, see how they do against a good team like Canada. Noah Gregor, couple really good looks. First one off the post, second one, good save by Fazio. I've been impressed from what I've seen from Gregor so far. Effective with his speed.
He was a 4th round pick by San Jose in 2016. Had 3 years of 25+ goals in the Western League. Played this year for the Sharks and scored 8 times. Nicolas Waugh drops that back to Severson. Back down to Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois fanning that pass. Now gathers it back up. Dubois. Cousins. Severson with it now. Sanheim. Back down to Severson. Trying to center it, and that pass is broken up by Miglioranzi. Run played back down to the Canadian zone as Sanheim goes back to pick it up. Native of Elkhorn, Manitoba, one of 4 Manitobans on this Canadian roster. And in comes Josh Anderson. Just worked that free and fired it wide. Dyson Mayo steps up. Lowry down to Anderson with Sillinger. Mayo steps up, trying to work that free and does. Sillinger walks out with it, slides that back to Holden. For Sillinger. It's a rink-wide pass for Dyson Mayo. Here's Anderson back with it. Back at the point is Mayo. Shoots, it got through. Fazio save, and Anderson's got the loose puck. Anderson back around to Lowry. Got bumped there by Spornberger. Loose in the corner now to Holden. Holden to Anderson. And Josh Anderson looks down to Adam Lowry. Mayo. Back across to Holden. And Mayo along wrist shot, score! Tipped by Josh Anderson in front. And Canada's got a 2-1 lead.
That was a workman-like shift.
Yes.
Josh Anderson's probably pretty tired because he was engaged in a battle in front. In a long cycle and possession for Canada. Watch him just digging in against DePerna. So you have to fight off the defender, but also keep your eye on the puck when it's eventually going to come in, and Mayo floats a wrister in. And that's a nice reach.
That's a tough tip.
On his backhand, pulling it back against yourself while you're kind of off balance from fighting off a pretty big defender of his own. Big goal for Josh Anderson. Canada give them the lead.
Playing for Canada internationally for the first time in 8 years. He played in the World Junior Championship back in 2014.
Usually means he's been in some playoffs.
Yeah. Now Kent Johnson works in and backhands that back. And a hooking call coming out of Italy. As Barzal. The extra skater comes on, and Barzal has a look at Contois. Barzal shoots. Rattles high off the glass and picked up by Contois. Back for Whitecloud. To Shabbat. In for Barzal. Barzal slides that back to Shabbat. Back for Barzal, but Friedel got a stick on that. And with 11:07 to go.
Was that a tip over the glass, or was that an intentional swat?
And right away.
If it's a deflection off your stick in the middle of the air, it's one thing. But if you flick it in the air as though you're pulling up, then it would be. Canada looking for the 5-on-3. Don't think they're going to get it. The original hook here on Vieira. Gets his hands up into Kent Johnson's hands, and Thomas Chabot having the conversation with the officials right now. Well, the second one.
Right. It is a tricky one because if there's any kind of motion.
Right. One thing if your stick's just out in the air and it hits it. But as soon as you move your stick up to hit it.
You've put it out.
Which is why it's so dangerous to swing at pucks up in the air. And a great look at it here.
Well, that's.
It's one hand. It's tough, but.
By the book, that's a penalty.
He flicks at it.
So Canada on the power play went 2 for 3 against Germany. Dubois and Johnson had their power play goals. Dubois had that knocked away and moved down by Diego Costner. Batherson moving it across the line, but it's offside at the Italian line.
Batherson knew he had Dubois streaking through the far side, and he almost tried to get it across the blue line so quickly he mishandled a little bit. And so that's enough. 22 seconds, not a lot of time for the first power play unit to go to work before making a change. And here we see Matt Barzal getting worked into the power play. He wasn't here for the first game. He's on the top of the screen.
He's way up by the Canadian bench.
I don't know if he needs to hide up there. I mean, he's good enough with this ice surface. Put him in the middle of the ice. He's still going to get the zone entry. That's for people who need a little extra space. He doesn't need. He doesn't need much help.
Okay. Kind of like a step ladder.
Right.
Here's Johnson back with it. And Johnson was poke checked there by Costner. Now swings back with it.
You drive this puck in deep before you pull it up.
Shabbat.
There you go.
Back to Johnson. Shabbat has a look to the goal mouth, and Lowry just pounded that pass too hard for everyone to handle. It's back down to the Canadian line. Johnson swings back with it. Kent Johnson. Canada changing as Dubois comes on. That was broken up by Frank. And Spornberger's got it back for Italy. Here's Spornberger. Born in Italy, but has played hockey in Germany since the age of 16. Barzal back with it.
Good touch to keep it on side.
Severson to Batherson. That rink-wide pass missed. Now Barzal's got it back. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Batherson walks it and shoots and just missed high. And the puck rattles off the glass and goes out.
Batherson can score from there. He's been very good on the power play with Ottawa. Works both sides. And he says, you know what? I don't need any help here. I'm going to shoot to score. Little drag, change the angle. Ooh. And that caught the crossbar.
Yeah, good.
And went up over the glass.
House's dad, Norm, played a long time in Europe, mostly in Germany.
He was having such a great year.
You know,
and
he
I
really
felt
was.
bad for him that it was derailed by a cheap shot from Aaron Dell.
Buffalo goaltender.
Gave him a cold shoulder, and he got the ankle sprained because of it.
Put him on a couple of months.
He was headed to the All-Star game in a couple weeks out, and he never had a chance to participate in that.
Dubois walks in and shoots it off the stick of Miliranzi. And the penalized player for Italy is back on the ice. Back goes Severson for it, so Canada leads for the first time. Now a race for it. Dubois gets in there along with Cousins. Dubois pulls it across. Cousins, but that's just wide.
Great chance for Cousins. You got to find a way to get that one to the back of the net.
Now knocked down to Severson. Severson back down to Contois. He falls behind the goal. Picked out by Mercer. Dawson Mercer for Contois. Back to Severson. He finds Sanheim, shoots, and Fazio got just enough of that rebound. Mercer jamming at it, no goal. Referee said the whistle had sounded. 8:21 to go in the second period. Canada leads 2-1. Back here in the ice hall in Helsinki, the home of IFK Helsinki. Going to be an interesting year in the Finnish league and other European leagues to see what's going to happen with the fallout of all of the players, the foreign players that played in the KHL this year who are going to be looking for jobs elsewhere.
An influx of 100 new,
at least,
top-end players.
There's at least 30 Finns that play in the KHL, so a lot of them will migrate back here and play in the Finnish league. And Jokerit, which plays across town here, will be back in the Finnish league next year. They've left the KHL, so.
That helped their bottom line. They were sustaining some losses trying to compete in that league.
It'll be good for this team, too. You know,
Yes.
the rivalry between those two cities, the two teams rather in the same city, is a big one. Bring a marquee franchise back in. Noah Gregor back for it. Being watched by Hannon. In for Comtois. Comtois flips that rink wide. That was batted away by Jos. Drieger. Quick up with the Italians changing. Comtois chips it there for Mercer. The pass misfired though. Comtois drops that back to Graves. Brian Graves, a native of Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, plays for Jersey, the NHL. White Cloud for Graves. Rink wide in stride to Johnson. In comes Kent Johnson in his NHL debut this year with Columbus. Played 9 games for Blue Jackets, had 3 assists. Now Batherson drops it off to Johnson. That backdoor pass just misfired by Shabbat. Shabbat back to Batherson across. He goes. White Cloud, a hard shot. That just missed. Now Canada keeping up the pressure here as Batherson works in. Drops it back. Barzal a chance. He hammered that high. Picked out now by Batherson. Down to Barzal. Matt Barzal slings it back across for Shabbat. He got bumped hard there by Santa. And now Batherson back in the corner. Johnson for Barzal. Now Barzal, a backhand shot. And Fazio got the mask on that.
Headed that one away.
Yeah. Hasek used to do that a lot, right? Dominic
Yeah,
Hasek
he was
did.
the first guy I saw it do it on purpose. And they've also changed that recently. Anytime a puck hit a goal in the head, they would blow a whistle.
Right.
Which I'm glad they don't. Half the time they're doing it on purpose.
Referees now check. It's sort of a.
Yeah, does he need a whistle, or is it just?
It is an interpretation thing, a matter of discretion for the official if he thinks the goaltender was dazed or injured. Now winding in, a quick chance for Adam Lowry, goes wide. Anderson back on it. In behind the goal, picked up by Anderson. Back at the point, picked up by Graves, winds and shoots, that goes off a leg. The Italians hemmed in here.
Petronero taking that one on the calf.
Ouch.
That's exactly what I just said under my breath. Oh, that one's gonna sting a little bit.
Shots are 6-1 Canada here in the second period.
And Matt Barzal doesn't like to stay still in the offensive end. He's a motion guy. You know, he wants to keep cruising, turning, stopping, starting. He doesn't want to just hang out in front of the net or park himself in the slot. That's not his game. And when you can skate the way he does, why would you ever stay still? He is as good as there is.
Played for Canada the 2018 World Championship at 7 assists in 10 games. He's the Calder Trophy that winner that year, is the NHL's Rookie of the Year.
His life's going to get a little bit different next year.
Yeah.
As Barry Trotz has been let go by the Islanders. And under Doug Waite, Matt Barzal won the Rookie of the Year, where it was all offense and freewheeling, and he put up a ton of points. Under Barry Trotz, Barzal's points went down, but the wins went up. So I wonder what kind of middle ground they can find for Matt Barzal.
Mayo back to Graves, fired that wide. There's Dubois back on it. Pierre-Luc Dubois to Dyson Mayo. In for Nicolas Waugh. Back to Mayo, who jumped up. Feeds it down to Cousins. Tops that back to Graves. Graves down to Dubois. And Pierre-Luc Dubois winds through the offensive zone. Here he comes. Dubois walks right in, flips it back in front. Waugh with a chance. Scores! Dubois goes about 180 feet. And at the end of it, Waugh goes about 5, and the puck to the net.
Italy's getting tired defending in their own end. They're standing around a little bit. And Nicolas Waugh says, you know what? I'm just going to go stand in front of the net. I'm not going to go anywhere. Let Pierre-Luc Dubois do laps here. And if Dubois is going to be honest, I don't know if this pass was for Nick Waugh. That was going about knee-high in behind him, but that's probably why it worked out. Hitting him in the glove. It's actually going to be over to Cousins, who was sliding out, and Waugh then just tucks it home. Under Fazio was sprawled, thinking it's going to Cousins. He's worried about getting his right foot to the right post. All of a sudden, it's coming short side. And Canada has responded. They're not piling up the goals yet, but they've slowly but surely taken control of the game.
Waugh scored 15 times this year for Vegas.
Good year.
Real good year.
And on Vegas this year, you're playing all over the place.
And when comes Geeky with a chance, we'll get Geeky jams at that. Now Geeky slides down the lineup with Barzal arrived today. Geeky lost a regular spot in the lineup. Sanheim shoots, and Fazio the save on that. So he's the 13th forward. Mercer drops it back. Severson a shot off the goal post over the glass and out. Canada now a 3-1 lead here in the second period.
Let's see how you guys can dance. Today we dance with the referee dance. Take a look at the video and you know all the best moves for today. Referee dance moves and dance. Change delay. Delay penalty. Match penalty. Go. Looking good, guys. Keep on going. Rohkeasti mukaan vaan.
Damon Severson from Melville, Saskatchewan. his 8th NHL season, a second-round pick of New Jersey back in 2012. He's a silver medalist with Canada at the 2019 World Championship. Now Geekie drops it back, and that pass misfired for Holden, who was looking to score on his 35th birthday.
He had a birthday gift walking right down the slot by himself. Just skipped on him.
Now Holden. Move it ahead to Geekie. And Mercer. Plays it back in deep for Comtois. Maxime Comtois. Well, give credit there to Simone Costner, who's holding off the much bigger Comtois. And now Mercer's pass deflects back along the boards to Geekie. Morgan Geekie. Spins back and shoots. That's blocked. Picked up by Santa. And Patan bats it out. In comes Geekie across the line. Comtois tried diving back.
Now, I don't know if Max Comtois knows the rules, but that's another one of the rules. To get onside, you can't get there with your hand.
No.
You can't dive face first to get onside.
No.
You got to go feet first. So I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I'm hoping that he did, because that's a little tricky rule that not a lot of guys might know. See Nicois, just a little bigger, a little stronger, selling out Mantenuto trying to check him. So it's been 3 posts hit so far for Canada. Clean.
Canada won the round robin meeting last year 7-1. Had a 4-0 lead 11 minutes in. That's the difference. In this one, Italy took the lead. As Barzal flips it back down to the Italian zone.
And it may end up being about the same score in the end when it's all said and done anyways.
Batherson knocks it ahead for Johnson. That's knocked wide. And Shabbat steps up. Thomas Shabbat drops that back for Batherson. The Ottawa teammates go to work. And Batherson banks it back to Barzal. Brings it across. Shabbat had an open net, teed it wide as Fazio was late getting back into the net.
Watching Shabbat's reaction. Disgusted with himself by that shot.
That
Just
stick's
appalled.
That stick's done for the
Yeah.
day. Barzal works in, drops it back for the trailer. Shabbat for Johnson. Shoots, scores! Kent Johnson on a sweet 3-way passing play. Gives Canada a 4-1 lead.
Well, if you can't shoot him in, nice feeds like that will keep the stick in the rotation by Shabbat. That was very nice. A lot of moving parts, changing lanes, activating defense, and it's tough to sort out for the Italians. Sauce the space there. I think Johnson and Barzal are going to enjoy playing with each other. They have that offensive mind, the speed of Barzal, who strings it out back to Shabbat in a great passing spot. Everyone diving towards him to block a shot, and he puts it right into the sweeper wheelhouse for Kent Johnson, who has his second goal in as many games.
Yeah. You know, you talk about Johnson playing for all those teams this year. I mean, he didn't have a big year, you know, in Michigan. He scored 6 goals.
That's what I'm thinking. You see him score here. You see him score yesterday, where he really could shoot it.
His track record is as a goal scorer, and quite a good one.
But he didn't score a lot of goals in college.
Right.
He was more of a setup guy.
Icing called with 2:05 to go here in the period. Well, we mentioned earlier, he joined some pretty select companies. Saku Koivu, Evgeny Malkin, and Eli Tolvanen, the only other players to score in the World Junior, the World Championship, and the Olympics in the same year. As you said, just playing in those 3 in the same year is
It's
pretty
a pretty
cool.
exclusive company
Pretty cool.
to begin with. And I wonder if any of the other players who played in the Olympics and in this tournament can maybe play in the World Juniors if they do so, and maybe get a goal and add to the tally.
Yeah, that will be the 2022 World
Like
Juniors.
did Slafkovsky score in the World Juniors?
I think he did, yeah.
Did he? So as soon as he scores a goal here, then he'll be part of that group.
Right, he had 7 games at the Olympics. You would ask me that with minute 45 to go in the period.
Well,
Lowry.
Something to look
back.
forward in the intermission.
But Trenero had that pass broken up. And from his knees, sent ahead by Anderson.
So Canada's played better to take control of this game. Now that they don't want, look out, coming in hot. Everybody okay right below us as that puck skipped off a stick and into the stands. And you see one of the gatekeepers here. Do those pucks have tracking chips in them? He took the puck that was the game puck and returned a souvenir puck.
Really?
Very interesting. Have to do a little investigation here. Oh, breakaway.
Another chance now for Canada's Cousins comes in. Dylan Cousins in and turned away by Fazio.
It's hard to create a 5-hole goal for a right-handed shooter when you're skating right at the goaltender if you go to your forehand. Cousins tries to go backhand, forehand, but it's just not a lot of width to the move. So hard to get the goalie to open up. Cousins not able to find the small gap between the legs.
Slavkovsky has not scored the World Junior this year. Still could though.
But he's got to get one here and then play in the summer and get one then.
Yeah.
That's of course if he plays in the summer.
Versa had that knocked away and it's picked up now by Cousins. Dylan Cousins comes steaming in. There's it back behind the goal. Pietro Nero picks it up. Loose behind the goal, Waugh. Flips it back in front. Cousins taps it back to Severson. For Sanheim. To Severson. In the high slot is Waugh. Severson. And the pass bounces away and back to center ice, picked up by Waugh.
If I was a forward, I'd like playing with Damon Severson. He's a good passer of the puck.
Always has been. Gregor. Centering pass going back to the days of junior hockey.
Gets it where you want it, how you want it.
And Canada gets things going the way it wants it here in the second period. Goals by Josh Anderson, Nicholas Waugh, and Kent Johnson take them to a 4-1 lead after 40 minutes.
Took a little while. Rev the engine up for Canada, wake up the legs, wake up the minds, but a much better second than first. And try to do that one more time and roll on through the third period.
This is the 2022 World Hockey Championship from Finland. Our second intermission is coming up.
Kanada 11, Italia 2. In Tampere, the score between Team Norway and Team Great Britain is 3-0 after the second period. Tampereella samanaikaisessa toisessa ottelussa Norja Iso-Britannia tilanne 2 erän jälkeen 3-0.
From the start, okay? Team on 3. 1, 2, 3, team!
Okay, sticks down, please. Stick! Hip, 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 hip.
Come on! Hey guys, come on, come on, come on! Easy! Easy! Move! 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 Come on, come on, come on, come on! Hey, 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 hey! You need to cool it in front of the net there, okay? At the net, come on!
Okay, place the pack, place the pack. Move, move, move. Hey. Hip, hip, Chris, Chris.
I saw it.
Dash up 10 seconds later. Go to 10.
Back here in Helsinki, Justin Fazio has allowed 4 goals on 22 shots through 2 periods of play. The native of Sarnia, Ontario, playing against Canada for the 2nd time at the World Championship. And Chris Drieger has allowed 1 goal on just 6 shots for Italy. Shots for 11-2 in favor of Canada in that 2nd period.
It's tough to have a good save percentage when you're only facing 6 shots a night. For Drieger, 1 gets by him. I think we'll know in the first 3 minutes of this period how Canada is going to play in the 3rd. Either it's going to be sloppy and loose, and they will have.
Oh, look
no!
Sanheim shoot-in hit the official right in the head, knocked the linesman down hard. That's Dario Zunda of Latvia. Wow, that was direct.
Oh man.
Dom Nicoletta, the Canadian athletic therapist, came out, but wow.
Do not like. I don't even want to watch this replay.
Oh,
he might got the forearm on the way up.
Yeah.
Which is better than what the forearm was covering. That would have taken out. Yeah, there it is. The officials wear elbow pads.
Yes.
They wear little hip protectors,
Yeah.
shin pads, little small ones.
Yeah.
But I don't think they wear anything down the forearm.
No, not normally.
Or on the shoulders.
Wash shoots, that's blocked.
That's going to leave a mark.
Sanheim a long shot, Fazio save, rebound loose in front, and Waugh couldn't reach that. Latvians are a hardy people.
Shook it off like it was nothing.
And then drop the puck for the next faceoff. Now a 3-on-2 for Italy.
I definitely would have gone to the room for observation.
Observation. Dubois. Wearing full equipment.
With my slash guards on my wrist. Nah, I don't know. Could have been something.
Sanheim up for Cousins. Mantenuto with it. Thornhill, Ontario native is Daniel Mantenuto. Been at Robert Morris University for 4 years. Was the captain there in his senior year.
And prior to that, he played for the Aurora Tigers just outside Toronto, where I played my junior hockey.
There you go. Where's Robert Morris? Is that Pittsburgh?
I think it's in Pennsylvania, yeah.
Back at the point. Shot by DePena, deflected wide. And now Cole Sillinger. Our producer Kevin Pratt informs me that Robert Morris University is in fact in Pittsburgh, so bonus points for knowing the city locations of U.S. colleges.
In which I played. Well done. Although Robert Morris wasn't a Division I team when I was in school.
When you were attending the Harvard of the Midwest, Bowling Green State University.
That's right.
As you've often reminded me.
In my broken English, yes.
Who's the best player from Bowling Green?
Be Rob Blake.
Yeah.
Ken Morrow. Mike Liu.
Zach Whitecloud moves in and shoots, rattled that high.
Who's probably the best NHLers?
Whitecloud went to Bemidji State University in Minnesota. Barzal. Winds through the offensive zone in his tournament debut for Canada. Missed game 1.
I almost get concerned, Gord, that Johnson and Barzal are going to get so enamored with just filling the puck to each other, they forget to actually attack the net.
Now Shabbat centers it, and Whitecloud had jumped up, put that high.
It takes a D to drive the back door to make it happen. Shabbat to Whitecloud, because Johnson and Barzal are so shifty, and they're kind of reading off each other. They create all the time and space. That's a nice look by Thomas Shabbat. He's already picked up 1 assist in the afternoon. Nick Roy, that long reach of his, finds a way to get his stick on a lot of loose pucks.
Right.
All over the ice, really. That, he checks well with it. He penalty kills well with it, and it's a good tool to have.
Law was acquired in trade with Carolina for Eric Howla. There's Nick Holden. Drops that down to Mercer. Here's Contois on it. The only returnee from last year's gold medal winning team drops it back to Mayo. Shoots, scores! Dyson Mayo gets his first for Team Canada at the World Championship. And it's 8-5, 1 lead.
It's the high rising wrister. Comtois makes it happen by moving his feet behind the net. He really gets ahead of steam here, doesn't allow himself to be checked, opens up some ice, attacks the triangle of the winger, and look at all the people. And Fazio just a little bit late spotting it as Mayo sails it in high. Well, he actually gets over top of it, catches the bottom of his blocker, and ends up going down into the net, but it's good for Mayo. Scoring a goal with the national team jersey on. Pretty cool experience for a guy who doesn't do a ton of scoring.
Signed a 3-year extension with the Coyotes in February, so
a little security in his NHL spot.
Well, kind of a late bloomer for them. A 5th-round pick in 2014. He spent a lot of time in the American League. Spent some time there this year as well, but mostly with the NHL club. As Waugh works it and shoots. Fazio got a piece of that. Speaking of colleges, next year Arizona's going to play at one.
Yeah, that's right.
on the campus of Arizona State University.
The Coyote Sun Devils. That will be interesting. I will be curious. I'm open mind. We'll see how that shakes out.
In comes Waugh with it, drops it off. Now a bouncing puck for Sanheim. He powdered that wide. Cousins plays it back to Waugh. To Sanheim. Down for Graves. Graves holds and shoots, and that's deflected away. Now Dubois tried to center it, and it's picked off by Costner. Pass broken up at the line by Dubois, and Cousins plays it back in deep, and Canada changes. Spornberger takes that pass back. Born in Bolzano in the north part of Italy. Now racing in, a chance for Daniel Frank moving in, and Mayo came back on him. Graves up ahead for Mercer. Dawson Mercer ran headlong at Dylan DePerna. DePerna spent 5 years in the Ontario League, mostly with the Kitchener Rangers. Now played back across. DePerna shot, and here you got a piece of that, and it goes up and out.
Don't think that the Italians are going to stop playing because it's 5-1. So if you're Dawson Mercer, you're going to roll down the boards thinking no one's going to touch you or hit you hard. DePerna says, think again, as he's getting a high five. That's how you step up at the blue line. That's how you activate on the weak side. He does both those things. Meg Ireland's still trying to encourage his players to be proactive, play on their toes, keep attacking.
It's the hardest thing when you're coaching a team at this sort of level of the competition is to keep a positive attitude, to keep the Olaf Eller, Lars' dad.
Yep.
That was his big task with the World Junior because they took some awful poundings.
Yeah. And eventually, you know, it chips away at your confidence. And when you get to a game where you should have a chance of winning, if you're so beat down and feeling bad about yourselves, you don't have as good of an opportunity.
Shabbat up for Anderson. That's broken up, and McNally has it back for Italy. Brandon McNally plays it back in, so Sillinger goes the other way to Anderson.
I can't get over Cole Sillinger is chawing on that mouth guard like it is going out of style.
I know. It's the thing now, right?
Like, why even have one in your mouth? It's look at it.
It's like he's got a cigar going. Which I'm sure he doesn't, by the way.
Not during the game anyways.
Well, the Kachuk brothers do it. A lot of American kids do it.
Patrick Kane, famously.
A lot of American
James
kids do
Van
it.
Riemsdyk.
Yeah. More of a pacifier than a protector.
Yeah, it's not helping you out very much.
And on the other way for Italy doing the same thing, and now it's picked up by Johnson. Kent Johnson pulls it back across for Barzal. Back at the point, Sanheim, or Mayo rather. Mayo shot the flex wide, Batherson back to Holden. Cross to Mayo, in for Barzal, drops it back. And now Mayo a long shot. Fazio makes the stop on that and is able to hang on. 5-1, Canada leads here in the third period. Canada's won 9 straight against Italy at the World Championship. There was a tie back in 1995.
And the last time they played last year, it ended up being 7-1.
Yeah, that was a different game. That was 4-0 early.
That was
like real early.
A runaway, and then they eased off. Here it is, close game, and they're trying to finish strong.
Canada fell behind 1-0 here. It was 1-1 for a long stretch. Austin Mercer's had an assist added to the 6th Canadian goal. Now Holden jumps ahead. In comes Nick Holden on a dash. Drops it back for Batherson. His birthday. Give him a break.
Give him something?
Yeah. Now there's a chance for Johnson, kicked out by Fazio.
You think oftentimes where sometimes a coach gets involved with the World Champ team and the players feel pressure that they have to attend because the coach is there. I look at a situation like Nick Holden where he's got DJ Smith coaching. It probably helped him get the opportunity.
Right.
Where he vouched for his guy and said, you know what, if we need someone, bring this guy. He'll help us.
Yeah.
It can work both ways.
Andre Tournier's got Mayo here. Johnson drops that back to Severson. In for Barzell. The Batherson. Now Johnson back in the corner to Barzell. It's like they're playing their own game, those two.
You could see it kind of creeping in, right? In both a good and bad way.
Centering pass by Barzell was knocked away.
So Sedin's playing with Alex Burrows. Like, let's get out of the way. We're passing the puck to each other. So it's time to shoot in the net.
Sanheim. Back across to Severson for Dubois. Now brought in by Frank. That's knocked away by Severson. Canada will play Slovakia tomorrow. The Italians have Denmark on Tuesday. The games they would have circled on our calendar would be Wednesday against France and next Monday against Kazakhstan.
And we'll find out what Kazakhstan is. They looked terrible yesterday, losing badly to Denmark, but I can't imagine they're that's how they play all tournament.
It's the same team they had last year, which was very good. That team won 4 games last year, almost made the quarters.
And yet they got pumped 9-1 by Denmark.
Maybe the Danes are better than we think.
That's what we got to find out.
That's Dubois.
Denmark playing Switzerland later tonight. Maybe that'll give us an indication.
In comes Ryan Graves, shot, and Fazio knocks that up and out of play.
Ryan Graves.
Drafted by the Rangers, went to Colorado and really had
a dynamic year there on a good team. Monster plus minus. He was one of the league leaders in plus minus for whatever that is worth, which is not much anymore, but for a defensive defenseman, you like those numbers. But like every player, the better he's going to look good on a good team. You know, you play without the puck and you defend all the time. It's hard.
Right.
And maybe foot speed gets exposed a little bit, but when you play with it, you can make passes and be creative. Graves is an effective player.
Saw some of the Canadian players talking to Marco Insum. He would know some of them. He played a couple years for the Notre Dame Hounds in Saskatchewan and Wilcox, Saskatchewan, and 2 years with Niagara in the Ontario Hockey League.
I thought it because he keeps hitting everyone out here. That's what they're talking to him.
There might be that too. Petronero. Lead pass to Insum. Drops that back. Fired wide by Ivan DeLuca. And DeLuca battling down low with Holden. Gregor winds it across the line, flips that ahead. And Morgan Geekie tapped that towards the goal, and Fazio has it.
And it's worth playing hard if you're Gregor, if you're Comtois. There is 13 forwards here, and so you do have to earn your spot in the lineup on a daily basis for Team Canada. And I see Gregor with that speed, and I think about where his career could go. You could become a diligent penalty killer. That would be a nice skill set to have. He looks like he has all the physical tools to do it.
Canada currently has 21 skaters here. Eric O'Dell has been a healthy scratch the first 2 games.
Right. Matt Tompkins is the 3rd goaltender.
Yeah.
So they don't need to add them unless they run into trouble.
Canada has an open roster spot. White Cloud drops it back to Sillinger in, trying to slide that back to the goal mouth. And couldn't find Anderson with the pass. Now that clearing attempt knocked down by Sillinger, walks in and shoots. And Fazio makes the glove save.
It's that hand eye of Sillinger again. Knocks it right out of the air like it's nothing. He's laughing at the poor pass with Josh Anderson right now because he was wide open. There it is. On his backhand again, knocks it right down, says, forget about passing. I'm going to take a shot on this one, but Fazio makes a nice save. But previous to that, he had Anderson on the back door all alone, and he shanked the pass towards him. There's the mouth guard. He's got a scratch on his nose. He can deal with it mid-game.
By the way, 3-0 Norway leading Great Britain in the other rink. Is that quick shot by Anderson stopped by Fazio. Brett Perlini of Great Britain just stopped at a penalty shot.
Brendan's brother.
Yeah. Their dad, Fred, a legendary player. Like
Look,
Guildford Flames, I think.
Fred Perlini.
Yeah.
Check his numbers
it's
on
ridiculous.
Hockey DB.
It's like,
it is.
Well, first of all, his page is like a foot long.
126 goals in 22 games. It's obscene, the kind of numbers he was putting up.
I believe he played for the Guildford Flames.
It's a heck of a name, the Guildford Flames.
Yeah. Johnson pokes ahead for Barzal. Now Matt Barzal. That shot was blocked, picked back up by Graves, and it deflects wide. And Graves back with it. That pass rattles high off the glass. Picked up by Johnson. In comes Barzal, swings it back across, and a sharp angle shot by Johnson just missed. Mayo. Back in the corner. Barzal centering pass just ticked away. Now Barzal has to go off a skate, lifts it back out by Simon Costner. In comes Barzal again. Walks right in, crisscrossing with Johnson. Barzal. Back for Sanheim. Severson. And now we got an issue in front of the.
And Barzal's irritated that he wasn't called for a hook against him. I think he went there and picked up a penalty for a cross-check or something in front of the net.
You look at the power play. Canada leads 5-1.
Yeah, I know. Let's go. .48 to go here in the third period. Canada a 5-1 lead. Italy gets a power play here late in the period as Matt Barzal gets called for high sticking. Italy did score a power play goal yesterday against Switzerland. That shot, a hard one taken there by Miglioranzi. The stop made by Chris Drieger.
Tough to evaluate Drieger today. You want, I don't know if there was a toss-up for the starting spot. Logan Thompson got the first game against Germany. That probably tells you that they see him as the starter right now. You're Drieger, you had 7 or 8 shots in the game, and you give up one. There's not much to make of this performance for him.
Just the second shot of the period for Italy.
Drops that back to Patan. That's broken up, and Alex Patan has to hustle back, and Sillinger stole that from him. In comes Cole. Sillinger shoots and just missed short side. He had a spot pick and almost got it.
He's got a nice release too, just a little bit off target. He sniffed out that chance. As soon as the puck was turned over, he had an extra burst to track it down.
Spornberger up for Costner. Insom comes in on it. Nick Holden steps into him. Frank banks that back. Spornberger races ahead. Throws that rink wide. Mayo racing to it. Dyson Mayo banks it up ahead. And now Sillinger bats at it. Sillinger the 12th overall pick in the 2021 NHL draft. Turns 19 during this tournament.
Still so young. If you're Columbus, you're delighted that he came to this tournament.
Sure. That shot taken by Mantenuto goes wide. Barzal steps out. Here's Frank on it. Another penalty coming to Canada. As Holden goes back. And Barzal touches up.
And Sillinger for a trip.
And so the Italians go right back on the power play.
Late in the penalty kill, a little bit tired, loses body position, digs in hard onto the feet. And that is as textbook a trip as you can get. So after killing 2 off, they go right back to work, shorthanded again. Give the special teams a little practice.
Miglioranzi. Long wrist shot was blocked down by Severson. And now Miglioranzi can't hold the line for Italy. The Tad swings that back. 3rd straight year in the top division for the Italians. They went promotion in 2018, survived relegation in 2019 for the first time in 6 tries. There was no tournament in 2020. Then last year there was no relegation.
They've made the most of their promotion. They've milked it for all it's worth.
And the team that suffered for it is France.
And France would have continued to suffer from it, except they've got put into this tournament because Russia and Belarus were removed.
Right. Sanheim races back.
Feels like that will be the game, though. Italy and France.
It's on Wednesday to probably see which team gets. There will be relegation this year, as Hungary and Slovenia are coming up next year.
Couple different looks.
And are jointly bidding to host next year's tournament to replace St. Petersburg, Russia. Now Gregor pokes it in. Chance for Noah Gregor. Short-handed Noah Gregor in. Backhand scores. Well then.
What skill is he supposed to pick up? Penalty killing. With his speed, you know, positioning. And I think when he picked up this puck, Gord, he was thinking about passing it. He gave a quick shoulder check, and I don't think it was because if anyone's going to catch him, is if Sanheim can join the party. Right here. Watch. Back there it is. Are you with me? Now I guess it's on my own. And Fazio a little bit slow, because I think Fazio might have been thinking about it as well. Is he going to drop this one back to the guy behind me? And he just pulls it all the way over, strings him out, and dumps it upstairs. When you can skate that fast, get it to the post quickly and give yourself a chance. That's a nice start of the tournament for Gregor. 2 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, back-to-back games of goals for him. As mentioned, he was a big goal scorer in junior, a 4th-round pick by San Jose in 2016.
I like him. I like what I've seen.
So now a 6-1 lead for Canada. Italy still on the power, but that centering pass bounces around. And Drieger hangs onto that. 17 seconds to go in the Italian power play.
So penalty kill getting some work. A shorthanded goal for Gregor, and really establishing his role. And if you can get some touch, some trust from Claude Julien, you'll find a role for you. I think it's important for your guys at the bottom of the lineup, for Coach Julian, that you trust what you're like defensively, and showing some PK skills, we'll get that.
Ivan DeLuca. Bounces it back down to Drieger as the teams are back to even strength inside 5 to go in the third period. Comtois. Had that pass taken away by Juice. Now bank back down to the Canadian zone. White Cloud. For Geekie. And Morgan Geekie, the native of Strathclyde, Manitoba. Drops that back. White Cloud. Up for Gregor. Here he comes. Gregor gets spun around in the corner. Gregor. Tied there by Jos. Graves across to Shabbat. In the neutral zone.
Is he going to call hold? I think it's Noah Gregor going to the net. Comtois. Gregor had a good grasp in the front of the net as well.
A penalty to Canada.
Okay, Comtois.
In a 6-1 lead here in the third. Italy back in the power play as Maxime Comtois gets called for holding the stick. Canada scored shorthanded in Italy's last power play. Here comes Dawson Mercer steaming in again. Mercer held off there by Miglioranzi. And Fazio, to hang out of that, is Enrico Miglioranzi rather came back on that quick burst by Mercer.
A couple of young players out there killing full cylinder. Dawson Mercer, who just finished his first year with New Jersey. Got off to a great start.
He did, yeah.
30, 40 games.
Wound up with 17 goals on the year.
Fine offensive season. Just the pace was probably a little bit slower the second half than the first.
Right.
Which is normal for rookies.
Shot back up by Sanheim, who sends it down the ice. Sanheim didn't wait for the call. He called Hockey Canada, said he wanted to play in this tournament.
I like that. I don't know what the 1-800 number is, but I'd make the call too. 1-800, I want to go.
Well, I think in his case, you just, after the disastrous year the Flyers had, you just want to wipe that out of your mouth, right?
Yeah, wipe the hard drive and play and win some games and have some fun and head into the summer feeling good about the game.
Holden goes in on Hannon. There is another factor to that the players, might not be aware of, but winning the gold medal last year,
yep,
puts $1 million Swiss francs into development in Canada.
Right.
Hockey Canada gets $1 million payout for winning the gold medal.
Yeah, somebody was asking me that earlier. The players.
Patan shoots.
Save.
That's loved by Drieger.
The players were to get financially rewarded for winning gold medal. I think that is the reward that they return it to Hockey Canada, and they give back to have Hockey Canada have more funds to grow the game, develop the game, coaches, training, all the things that help growing the game in Canada.
Dornberger, long shot. Drieger save. It'll quickly pounce on that.
Goaltenders don't like these moments. Game's out of hand.
Right.
You're going to win. My team in front of me is taking garbage penalties, holding the stick. Like, come on, guys, help me out here.
Wow.
Goals against and save percentage don't they hit.
We saw it yesterday. Denmark had a 9-0 lead on Kazakhstan.
They gave up a greasy short-handed goal to ruin a shutout.
Late, like with a minute and a half to go. Hard shot taken there by Inza. And at center ice, Diego Coster knocked down. So Comtois steps out. And a minute and a half to go in the third period. Still to come today here in Helsinki, France and Kazakhstan next, Denmark and Switzerland tonight. Pretty good Swiss team we saw yesterday.
They play fast.
And Johnson looks ahead for Matheson. That drop pass was intercepted. Here's Graves with it. Jones drops it back. Holden. Up for Barzal, who knocks that wide, and Comtois picks it up.
Barzal skated pretty well for a guy who's just gotten here and probably a little bit jet-lagged and still sorting things out with the team.
Now Comtois moves back in. Max Comtois drops that back. The pass just missed Mercer. Now Comtois scrambles that pass at center ice. So Italy took a 1-0 lead in the first period. Canada equalized. Stayed 1-1 for quite a while, but Canada primed the game open in the second period. Now Canada will run its record at 2-0 at this World Hockey Championship and win its 10th straight game against Italy. Final score 6-1 Canada. Now Canes will play Slovakia tomorrow. Italy's got Denmark on Tuesday.
It wasn't a beauty for Canada. They won't be delighted with exactly how they played the full 60 minutes, but it's a long tournament. Not gonna be at your best every game. You probably could have predicted it might be a bit of a soft start for Canada. Noon local time. Body clock's a little messed up. An opponent you think you should be able to beat and did. But when they had to get it done, they did enough.
And
marching along.
And by the way, on TSN2 right now, Great Britain has tied Norway at 3 in the third period. So you can tune into that if you like and see potentially an upset there. Was 3-0 Norway after 2.
And those are the games that Norway has always won.
And Brett Perlini was stopped at a penalty shot in that game for Britain. So
there you go.
As you said, there's always upsets abounding, but so far Canada has stayed to form through 3 days of the World Championship. Time now for the player of the game presentations and then the Canadian anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best players of both teams will be awarded by Tissot, the official timekeeper of the 2022 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship Tournament. Kummankin joukkueen parhaan pelaajan palkitsee Tissot vuoden 2022 jääkiekon MM-kisojen virallinen ajanottaja. The prize for Team Italy will be presented by member of 2022 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship Organizing Committee, Game Manager Mr. Teemu Vanhala. The prize for Team Canada is presented by Deputy General Secretary of the 2022 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship Organizing Committee, apulaispääsihteeri Jaakko Luumi. The best player of Team Italy, Italian paras pelaaja tänään, number 19, numero 90, Dylan Di Perna.
Sean DePerna, a native of Mississauga, Ontario.
His family woke up nice and early to watch this one. Well done. Time in the OHL.
Team Canada Kanadan paras pelaaja tänään, number 77, numero 77, Josh Anderson.
And Josh Anderson is Canada's player of the game. That line had a pretty good afternoon.
He's a handful, straight line speed, bull around the net as well. Scored a nice tip goal.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Rice, you are able to for the national anthem of winning team Canada. Hyvät naiset ja herrat, jos pystytte, pyydämme nousemaan ylös kuulemaan voittajajoukkue Kanadan kansallishymnin. The 2022 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship Tournament will continue today here in Helsinki Ice Hall with 2 games. At 4:20 p.m. France against Kazakhstan, and an evening game at 8:20 p.m. Team Denmark will host Team Switzerland. Tervetuloa. Welcome. Vuoden 2022 IIHF jääkiekon MM-kisoissa tänään Helsingin Jäähalissa vielä 2 ottelulla 16:20 Ranska Kazakstan ja 20:20 Saksa Sveitsi. Tervetuloa.
The longest walk ever. Literally.
That's on my. Go, that's it. You go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the venue is divided between the games. See you soon. Arvoisa yleisö, areena tyhjennetään tässä otteluiden välissä, joten nähdään jälleen hetken kuluttua.
Nick, first of all, happy birthday. You turned 35 today. How does it feel to get a dominant win on a special day?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when I got asked to come over here, I knew I was going to celebrate my birthday here, and it's always nice to get a win on your birthday.
Italy scored first in this game. What did Canada do to reset and make sure that they had the tone for the rest of it?
I just think we got to our game where we were starting to move pucks forward instead of trying a bunch of east-west stuff. So kind of simplified a little bit and made sure we started playing the way we want to.
You're at the Worlds this year with a couple of Ottawa Senators teammates. What is it like sharing that experience with them?
Yeah, it's obviously cool to be here, but when you got guys that you already know and you're close with, it's extra fun and gives you a little bit of extra kind of camaraderie that you can bring to other guys.
And of course, the Senators' line mates include Thomas Chabot, captain. What does he bring as a leader to this team?
I mean, he's got a good voice. He likes to talk in the dressing room and joke around, and he's been great at setting up restaurants and things to do outside of the game here.
Best restaurant he's found so far?
Ooh, I can't even remember any of the names here. Best burger.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Phil, you had the opening goal to give your team an early lead. How do you think that impacted the way your team approached today's game?
I just think it helped us focus on the main goal, and it was have a great game and just stay focused on our main object of the game and just keep going.
Second World's appearance, first World's goal, and first point. What does it mean to you?
It's a great accomplishment on my part. Very happy for myself, but it's a team game and wouldn't have happened with a nice pass from McNally. So other than that, I'm happy. So.
What was the biggest challenge Canada presented today?
Just they're a good team. There's a lot of guys that play in the NHL, and it was a good challenge for us. And we wanted to be a full team, full 60 minutes, and just compete the full game.
Maximus. Fucking right, boys. Game, bro. Let's go.